Hi everyone, this is my first Diablo 4 video. It's been a while since I've done a build. I think Guild Wars 2. Anyway, let's get straight into it. This is a stun build based around the Sorcerer in Season 1. So there are a few pieces that I want to quickly go through. I am only 50, so it's still at the beginning of season. I'll tell you what I've currently got, but what I'm aiming to have as well. So the important aspects of what makes this build work is that we are working towards actually running all defensive skills as cooldowns because our cooldown ability is going to help us get the stuns off, especially whenever you stun an enemy, then it's going to do damage. That's the idea. And the stuns come off because we have the arc lash, which is going to use a cooldown. So we're going to be teleporting and shielding and frost novering, and each one of those is going to cause a stun, which of course then causes damage and hurts everything around it. Now, to make this build also produce other damage, we're going to use a ball lightning, and we're going to use a teleport enchantment. So we can actually evade, and where we want to really get to is have a boots that has maximum evade charges, so you can teleport more and more times. I currently have a single one. I'll show you how that works in a second. But the idea is that we will have a barrier up all times. We will be using all our cooldowns, and we will be stunning everything, doing damage. At the same time, we'll then be hurting everyone with the ball lightnings that are circling around us as well. So that's the basics of the build. Let's have a look at the ability tree, how I've got it set up. So currently, I do have everything into Arc Lash, into the cool stunned. It reduces your cooldown, because we're all based on cooldown. We've got nothing in core skills. We have all 4 of the defensive skills, plus we have lucky hit chance. We have the cooldown gives you barrier and more lucky hit chance, nothing else there. We have everything into ball lightning. We have more barrier time, and we also have the stun enemy does damage. We then don't have an ultimate, but instead we go into coursing rains, convulsions, electrocution, and finally we go for the Veer's Mastery. On the Paragon board, the first Paragon board I'm going to go for is the one which has Static Surge, because stunning enemies, close enemies gives you mana, and this is how you're going to keep your mana up as well. Okay, going into the items. Currently, let me flick this over onto this main screen over here. Our goal at the moment is to go for exploiters, so longer stuns. We're going to have, this will be the only unique, but we want the remnant of infinite because it's going to pull in close enemies and stun them, so that it gives you a centralized location, and then your lightning ball is going to hit them as well. We're going to have an aspect of control, so more damage to, of course, stunned. Frost Blitz at the moment is there to give us another Frost Nova. We'll talk more about that later, but that's definitely going to be potentially interchangeable. Aspect of Fortune at the moment is here to have the barrier active, but maybe down the track get those Frost leggings that give you Novas. We'll see what happens there as well. Gravitational aspect, this allows the ball lightning to spin around you. Super important because we want to be in close combat with everyone, and we want to be hitting them multiple times. Currently, we're going to have conceded, so your barrier is up all the time, so we're doing more damage. And then our mana regeneration, you're going to have prodigies for the cooldown. And the second ring, still playing around what it can be. I've currently got the aspect of Umbra. Finally, we're going to be using stables. Now, what's cool about this is you don't have to have unstable currents even selected in your abilities tab. This will still cast an unstable currents for you because we're doing arc lashes, teleports, and the ball lightnings. We're going to get a whole bunch of free casts of other lightning spells as well. Now, because it is season 1, we are also going to talk about the Malignants. So currently, the Malignants that we want to look at is the Brutal Heart. So this changes some of the incoming damage into an explosion. The explosion kicks in whenever you're doing a defensive skill. So you're going to get these explosions going off. We also are going to go for the Brutal Heart with the barrier generation and the heal. And finally, at the moment, I'm just playing with the Wrathful Heart, which has the Vicious, Devious, and Brutal. So you've got extra barrier or extra attack speed. or a chance to fully restore your primary resource. So, but all three of those work really well with it. As I showed with what I want to have gear wise, we don't have that at the moment. So currently we are running a heal for close enemies. I was playing around with the idea of having why is that? Gaining primary resource whenever you heal, because there is quite a bit of healing going on, but I'm not sure if that's going to really work out. We've got less damage from vulnerable. We have a lucky hit chance for when your barrier's up. Again, your barrier will be up pretty much 24/7. This is a great one to have, actually, because we reset our defensive cooldowns. So things like having the Frost Nova is great if you have the double Frost Nova, because it fully resets. It doesn't matter the length of time. We have, this is really good for this build. We have the automatic stun every 20 seconds if there's at least 5 close enemies. The ball lightning, of course, imprinted. And there's the, we talked about the stable as well. And then I've got Umbral, I've got Retribution, and I've got Conceded. So that's what I'm currently running. Let me just show you it quickly. I'm in a Nightmare Dungeon. I think it's stage 3. We want to be... Actually, I did that start wrong. But you want to be running the ball lightning up first before you teleport. Because as soon as you teleport, you're going to get more mana. So you teleport, or you do any of your defensive skills, and you can have yourself multiple ball lightnings running at one time. So we'll power up the ball lightning. We'll bring it over here. We'll get some more mana. We can drop any of our abilities, and it will keep the ball lightning up and running. Now, the really cool thing about this, and probably the most important thing about the build, is to understand your cooldown management. So you don't want to pop all your cooldowns straight away. You want to be doing them so that we can cycle them. So you've always got a cooldown up, which means you've always got a barrier up. So as soon as I teleport there, we get a barrier. I can use the evade. We'll get a barrier as well, and a stun, which is really cool to have that teleport power. So here we are against a boss. Just sit there and we'll just start hitting it. Of course, this is the most fun is when you're up against a wall. It makes it really hard to keep your ball lightnings going. So let's move him out somewhere further. Keep the ball lightnings going, and he drops. We can just keep that running. Keep using our different cooldowns. Cooldowns keep coming up because of everything got set up, and there you go. It's as easy as that. I definitely see a lot of this going long term in regards to how to make the sorcerer tank viable, and potentially looking at things like incorporating thorns down the track. But I want to see how the Raiment of the Infinite goes first, because I think this is going to make it a lot more viable long term, and then figure out if we actually change the ball lightning for another cooldown, maybe like a lightning lance or something else. Anyway, this is the quick video to show you where my brain space is and where the theory crafting is, and then I will do another video in about 20 levels to show you what's grown from it. Talk to you guys soon.